Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. Guys, this is the big one. We are finally looking at the Radian Afterburner Ramjet combo for the Sig P365. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, it is a compensator and barrel combination for the Sig. Previously, it was just for the Glock 19 and Glock 17, but we finally have the crossover we've all been waiting for. Now the first drop for this is happening soon, and I just got this in, so I hit the range and burned through 750 rounds before the sun went down. I managed to make it through 3 of these from Buffalo Creek Ammo, my #1 recommended target ammunition. I've been shooting Buffalo Creek Ammo all year, and it continues to impress for affordable target ammo, so be sure to check them out. Now, I wanted to make sure I got through a bunch of rounds through this so I could let you know whether or not this is worth your hard-earned money, because the hype is real, but can it deliver? So in today's video, I'm going to go over the reliability, the shooting performance, and the accuracy of the Afterburner Ramjet. And based on what I'm holding up in front of you, my opinion may actually surprise you. But the most important reason to stay tuned is later in the video, I discuss how I messed around with the recoil springs in order to best optimize this gun's return to zero for the Afterburner. So hopefully that'll save you some time as well. Full disclosure, obviously Radian sent this into the channel for review, but one of the things I appreciate about Radian is they are not afraid of feedback, and they are willing to risk sending this into an honest channel where if anything goes wrong, I show it. And they also sent in their backstrap and magwell for the X Macro grip module. Highly recommend this if you're running an X Macro. You have no slip in the back, it really digs into you, and if you're gonna have this long grip on the X Macro anyways, then you might as well toss the best magwell on there. They also sent me the True 17 base plate, so if you struggle to fit 17 rounds in your X Macro mags, this completely solves that, and it fits very nicely into the magwell. But don't worry, OEM base pads will still fit this magwell just fine. Now obviously this is the Afterburner Ramjet that comes with the bronze barrel, but I'm going to be completely honest, I love shooting this thing. It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. Thank you. Yes, sir. Mint.
So hopping right into the video, I want to go over what makes the Afterburner Ramjet so unique, and that is that it doesn't have a threaded barrel, which makes it 50-state legal. It's also easy on and off for maintenance, and you don't have to worry about Loctiting this thing and having to melt red Loctite, because it is all held together with a single Torx screw, but it's a taper screw. This thing will not back out. I've been running one on my Glock 19 forever now, never backed out. But that makes maintaining your pistol so much easier, or if you like playing around with different builds, you're not stuck with a red Loctited compensator on a threaded barrel. And speaking of the barrel, this is a match grade barrel as well, so it's a step up from what you get with an OEM P365. Now right now the Afterburner and Ramjet for the P365 is only available for the 3.1-inch slide, so that's going to be the P365 and P365X slide. As you can see, you can pop it onto an X Macro grip module and get a nice flush fit compensator look. Now this was all able to come together just like this because of this thing that is an optics on a planet, and it's in the galaxy of .com. So if you'd like to support the people who support this channel, be sure to use the secret password NIGHT if you find yourself perusing that galaxy. Now continuing on with the Radian, the aesthetics are clearly off the chart. This is a sharp looking piece between Radian's furniture here and the Afterburner Ramjet itself. I mean, this gets major points for being probably one of the better looking modern guns in my collection. But looking nice doesn't mean squat if it doesn't work, so how did this thing run through 750 rounds? Well, it ran 100% reliably, and yes, I even tossed a magazine of my carry ammo Federal HST 124+P through this thing, and it just ate everything. What's wild is this is clearly not an OEM slide for the P365. It's from a company called Killer Innovations, and the Ramjet barrel functioned 100% in this, whereas the OEM barrel was causing stovepipes. The only thing I changed was tossing the Ramjet in there, and the thing just started running, so more reliable than OEM, I guess. And I think that's something a lot of people worry about when bolting a compensator onto their pistol, is how it's going to affect reliability. And I ran this thing with the OEM recoil spring assembly, no issues. The thing just kept on chugging, but that was not the most optimal spring I tested. Again, we're going to talk about that a little later. This is also your friendly reminder to hit that like, thumbs up button if you're enjoying yourself. I know it's easy to forget to do that, but it really does help overcome the gun tube issues around here, as does making sure you're subscribed and leaving a comment down below. Next up, I want to touch on accuracy with this setup a little bit, and that's because this is a match grade barrel and it certainly acts like it. I don't know what the accuracy standard is for OEM P365 barrels, but that has had some trouble from the bench in the past, and this thing just completely tightened everything up, so extremely accurate barrel. Next up is one of the most important parts of the video, and it is how does it actually perform? How does it affect the shootability of the pistol? Now, I will be doing a comparison with just a standard OEM barrel here in a minute, but I want to start out by saying that this thing absolutely does work. It reduces muzzle rise, it reduces felt recoil. Typically, compensators make a gun shoot softer, whereas ports make a gun shoot flatter, and this definitely makes the gun shoot noticeably softer and a little bit flatter. And it works as well or better than every other compensator I have tested for the P365 family of pistols. Now, the reason this performs a little better than the other comps on the market is because we have these 2 expansion chambers in the compensator, and they are large chambers. So this is pumping out a lot of gas from the top. A lot of times with these P365s, you'll see like a slot or a single port comp, and those will take the bite out of the gun. This makes it shoot noticeably softer. But here's where things get interesting. I shot this on the X Macro frame setup just like this, and it's cool to have, it's nice to have, but the X Macro shoots really well out of the box, especially the one with the integral compensator that is milled into the slide. That shoots a little softer than just the standard slide, and this shoots a little softer than that. So it is better than the standard X Macro slotted slide. But how well a pistol shoots has more to do with how you are gripping the pistol than the stuff you're bolting onto it. And the X Macro grip module gives you a lot of surface area to grip on. It's a longer grip, so you can get good leverage on it. You can crank down with this, and because of that, it shoots really well just as is. So with how pricey this Radian is, you know, unless you're just an enthusiast and you want every little advantage you can get, because no doubt this is an advantage, I'm just not sure how necessary it is. Now, that's the part of the review that may surprise you. But there is a but. This is a cool addition and a small advantage on the X Macro. And while I'm doing something below the camera, I just want to mention that that is probably how most people are going to be running this, because I mean, it looks pretty freaking fly, but this combination right here is the game changer. When you are running this thing on a standard P365 grip module or an XL grip module that is, you know, smaller circumference, not nearly as much surface area to grab a hold of, that recoil that you can't quite manage as well with this tiny little grip, the compensator makes up for tenfold. All of a sudden, you're taking what is normally a pocket pistol and you're making it run like a race gun. Here's some comparison footage of me shooting this with the standard barrel and with the Afterburner Ramjet with the standard P365 module. Now, I am shooting this as fast as I can pull the trigger, knowing that I will be getting good hits every single time. And you will see that I'm getting good hits with both setups, but it is way easier and I can shoot a little faster with the Afterburner Ramjet. Thanks to Radian, this thing rattles and jumps around a whole lot less than it does in its standard configuration. And the beauty of it in this configuration is it will fit in a P365 XL holster. So if you want to be an ultra elite, super cool kid with the new hotness, you can go ahead and run it on your X Macro grip module and it's going to look awesome and it's going to perform a little bit better. But if you're someone who's running a P365X, XL, or standard 365, run, don't walk, and sign up for notifications everywhere for this thing. It is difficult for me to put into words how much of a difference it makes on this tiny little frame. Now, I mentioned earlier on that I played around with springs, and it runs great with the OEM. You will notice a difference, but much like the Glock, playing with springs can make it even more efficient. So after testing a bunch of different combinations, I highly recommend getting a DPM system soft kit for the Sig P365 and running the shortest spring in that kit. And just so you know the exact numbers, that gives it a slide full open position of 14.3 pounds and a slide-on battery of 7.93 pounds. So about 14 pounds on the way back, and on full battery about 8 pounds. Now keep in mind, your mileage may vary based on how you grip the pistol. I grip mine hard, and you might want to test it with your defensive ammo, because with my plus P ammo, I could probably go one spring longer and be a little more optimized for my carry ammo. But if you want to make the most of your Afterburner Ramjet, get maximum performance out of it, definitely get yourself one of these soft edition kits from DPM Systems. And again, that is going to be for the standard P365. Now, of course, this is an honest channel. We can't just talk about all the things that are great about it. We also have to talk about the cons, of which there are only two, and they will surprise no one. It is going to be the price, which I cannot say here on YouTube. You're gonna have to find that information out on your own and then gasp.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
And number two is going to be the availability. Radian is a much smaller operation than you would think. I know they do their best and are ramping up as much as they can to meet demand, but this is going to be kind of unobtainium for a while. That being said, if you are running either a P365 or X and you do not mind an XL length to the actual slide and barrel itself, this is the best addition you can make to your P365, hands down. But of course, if you want that flush fit X macro maximum drip goodness, then it is definitely still an upgrade. It is going to make your X macro shoot better no matter what version you have of it. It just may not make as much of a performance difference as it does on its smaller family members. Godspeed. I wish you all luck in getting your hands on one. So if you've already liked, subscribed, and commented, the links in the description below are going to be the place to be if you would like to further support the channel. Lots of great, exciting things to do down there. You can join me on Patreon. I'm so grateful for my patrons. In the hardest of times, they are the ones who keep the lights on here. You can also check out my action-packed short novels on Amazon. I also have a brand new merch store if you're looking at getting your hands on a shirt with a gun movie reference on it, among other things. But it was so great seeing you guys again. I hope you enjoyed the video on the Afterburner Ramjet for the P365, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out!